Hey guys, we're here tonight to teach you some old world techniques with the Vintage Market Design furniture paint line. We've done some new world things recently, such as color washes and stripes and so forth, but something that's been done over the ages in all of the beautiful properties in Europe is metal leaf. So we're going to show you two ways to do it, and we're going to start with the easy way and show you some shortcuts with the wonderful new products that are out that make it just a little bit easier than it used to be. If you look on Vintage Market Design Furniture Paint's website, they have Speedwell metal flakes. The old version of the name for this is Chabin, and I love this because you don't have to get a uniform look, you don't have to have the perfect squares of leaf, and what they've done is taken the composite leaf, this one's gold, and broken it up into pieces, so you get all the glamour and the glitz and the reflection of a metal leaf without having to get perfect squares. Because what happens with this, you'll find it's very, very thin and lightweight, and if you are trying to do this and you turn on your air conditioner, it will be all over. So you want to do this in a place where you have no windows open, no air conditioning going, no movement in the air. It's that lightweight. And we are going to use a substitute for the traditional size, which was kind of a water-based glue. A lot of times it was rabbit glue, and we're a little bit more environmentally friendly now. So we're going to use the Glaze from Vintage Market Design because it has a little bit of a sticky consistency. We're going to lay that down first and have that be our size or glue to hold the Chabin or metal leaf. And because these are pieces, we're not going to have to worry about getting a uniform look. We're going to lay them down, and it's almost like a contemporary look because it's very free form. I'm going to use, with this one that's gold, I'm going to use the Garden Gate glaze, which is a dark brown, and then when I finish, I'm going to use the dark umber wax to seal it and keep it from tarnishing, and that's also a dark brown. So that will tone down the flashiness of this gold a lot and give you more of that old world look that's mellow and antiqued and easy to live with. So I've got a couple sample boards done here. And if I were starting from scratch, I probably would do a red because that's really nice to use under gold and it's very traditional. But I've got a board done in antique, 2 coats of antique. This is a pine, so I did not need to use the blocket. 2 coats of antique paint, and then I'm going to apply the Garden Gate glaze in just a really light coat over it. This is a water-based glaze. It's got a nice amount of pigment to it, and it doesn't take too long to dry, so this is not the kind of project where you have to wait and wait and wait for it to develop. So you don't have to worry about the brush strokes of the glaze because you're going to be covering this with gold composite leaf. So I'm just doing a pretty good coat over the whole thing. I'm going to do the sides too because if I were doing a jewelry box or a cabinet or something like that, I would want it to wrap around the sides. The advantage of using this over the old-fashioned sizes is you don't have any odor, there's no fumes, it doesn't have any environmentally unfriendly elements in it, and it's easy, the best part. We can kind of mimic those old world techniques without having to use the harmful products that they used to use in the old days. Okay, so I've got just a light coat on there. I don't have to rush because I want to let that get a little bit sticky. Let me get a paper towel here. Let's see, I'll use a little sponge. Just take it off my hands. And the secret is to let this, after you put the gold leaf on, to let it set for a few minutes. You don't want to start working it right away when it's super wet because you'll get kind of a puddled, muddy look. So I'm going to lay it down and then probably go fix myself a cup of iced tea and let it set for a minute. So I like to do it completely random. This is the best kind of gold leaf job to have because you don't have to worry about getting those precise little squares that they used to do in the traditional gold leaf, which I don't think is even as pretty as this. This is the kind of finish you could get a mid-century modern lamp and do the base of it. You could do a mirror frame. You can do a picture frame. You can do a ceiling. This would be beautiful over a black or red chair. And then do a Chinese motif upholstery. There is absolutely nothing that catches the light and is as dramatic as metal leaf. We use metallic glazes, we use metallic paints, powders, but the actual composite leaf just has a beauty like nothing else. And we can all remember when King's Tut exhibit went around and everybody was standing in line at the museum. The whole thing was gold leaf. I mean, his entire sarcophagus and everything he took to the other world with him was covered in gold leaf. So there must be something good about it. And you want to leave those little pools of background behind it, because you can see we've got the pieces standing up. And when we go back to burnish them, they're going to lay down and go over some of that. So you don't want to do 100% coverage. I probably want a little bit more than I have here, but still not to fill in all those spaces. And the beauty about the Chabin or metal flakes is that it's not a huge commitment financially. If you were to do real gold leaf and do the squares and have to cover your surface 100%, it's going to be quite a considerable investment. This is not. This is a composite leaf, so it has all the beauty, but it's not as expensive, and you're not doing solid coverage, so you can get the drama without having the price tag. Okay, so right now that kind of looks like something Goldie Hawn would wear in the 60s. We'll let that sit for a minute and then I'll burnish it.